Greetings and love to all of you. This paper serves as an overview and an introduction to the practicum which I'll be leading tomorrow morning, and I hope that many of you will be joining me in that practicum. The topic I am addressing with you, is spirituality in practice. Spirituality as it relates to global well-being in the workplace. What we'll be exploring in this presentation is peace. But not just peace as an absence of conflict. We will explore peace as a spiritual practice. We'll explore peace as a supportive, nurturing enabler. Peace as a natural state of the soul or Atman. Peace as a manifestation of direct personal experience of God. The premise of this presentation is that deep and lasting peace in the workplace is only possible when it's operative within the individual. True, deep, and lasting peace cannot be negotiated or legislated, as that peace originates and is sustained from within the individual. And it manifests itself outward through the insights, the attitudes, and the behaviors of the individual. Further, the premise is that peace is felt and it's contagious. Getting in touch with the inner peace, the true, deep, and lasting peace, is paramount to bringing it into the workplace. Deep and lasting peace opens the door to clear and beneficent thinking, and it brings win-win solutions to life's inevitable challenges. In this paper, we will explore the concept of deep and lasting peace, definite practical methods for inculcating deep and lasting peace within the individual, and effective ways to bring it into the workplace will be introduced in this paper and interactively demonstrated in the practicum tomorrow morning. Some philosophical and science-based discussion will also be included to provide a cognitive underpinning to the applicational processes. The methodologies described within this paper are derived from the teachings of Paramahansa Yogananda. And to provide some background and content, please allow me to share with you a few facts and commentaries about His Holiness Sri Sri Paramahansa Yoganandaji. In 1936, the Venerable Mahatma Gandhi took Kriya Diksha, the sacred guru-disciple initiation, from Paramahansaji. In 1977, the government of India issued a commemorative stamp in the honor of Paramahansaji and acknowledged and appreciated his contribution to spreading spirituality amongst the world's people. The Indian government said, "The ideal of love for God and service to humanity found full expression in the life of Paramahansa Yogananda. He takes his place among our great saints. His work continues to grow and shine ever more brightly, drawing people everywhere on the path of the pilgrimage of spirit." Unquote. Swami Shivananda of the Divine Life Society, Rishikesh, India, said of Paramahansaji, quote, "A rare gem of inestimable value, the like of whom the world is yet to witness. His Holiness Sri Paramahansa Yogananda has been an ideal representative of the ancient sages and seers, the glory of India." Unquote. After his Mahasamadhi, a God-illumined master's conscious exit from the body at the time of physical death, Paramahansaji's body was declared to be in a state of immutable incorruptibility, documented for posterity by the world-famous Forest Lawn Mortuary in California, USA. His Holiness Sri Chandra Shekharendra Saraswati, and that took me a while to learn how to say, at that time he was a Shankaracharya of Kanchipuram. And he said of Paramahansaji, and I quote, "As a bright light shining in the midst of darkness, so was Paramahansaji's, Yogananda's presence in this world. Such a great soul comes on earth only rarely when there is a real need among men." Paramahansaji's autobiography of a yogi, one of the world's most acclaimed spiritual classics, has drawn countless people all over the world towards the path of spirituality in their endeavor for self-realization. Dr. Elwood, Chairman, School of Religion, University of Southern California, USA, wrote, "Yogananda has become an image, a remarkable, deep, sweet, poetic, ecstatic man enraptured of cosmic life who has changed the map of American religious life." Among the laudable aims and ideals of the institution, the organization of Paramahansaji, we find these two cogent purposes: to spread a message of brotherhood among all peoples by teaching the eternal basis of their unity, kinship with God, and to serve mankind as one's larger self. In 1990, Dr. Binay Ranjan Sen, former ambassador of India to the United States and Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, wrote, and I quote, "As our world moves toward a new millennium, we are threatened by darkness and confusion as never before. The old ways of country versus country, religion versus religion, man versus nature, must be transcended in a new spirit of universal love, understanding, and concern for others. This is the eternal message of India's seers, the message brought by Paramahansa Yogananda for our own time and for generations to come," unquote. And finally, this quote from Paramahansaji himself: "Only spiritual consciousness, realization of God's presence in oneself and in every other living being can save the world." The entire scope of the teachings of Paramahansaji are readily available through books and CDs, tapes, videos, bi-monthly printed lessons, a quarterly magazine, and the internet, all published by Self-Realization Fellowship. You go to Satsanga Society of India. But for this presentation, we are going to be focusing primarily on the teachings of Yoganandaji as they relate specifically and practically to the individual as being an agent of peace in the workplace and in the world. We will be exploring this subject of deep and lasting peace as a spiritual practice from the perspective of my personal experience as a disciple of Paramahansa Yoganandaji for the past 40 years and, as was told, an American businesswoman, founder and CEO of 3 ongoing business enterprises, one of which is a nonprofit institution. The other 2 are profit-earning enterprises. In this presentation, I will be sharing with you what I have personally garnered from the teachings of Sri Paramahansa Yoganandaji about deep, and lasting peace. And having translated that knowledge from theory to implementation, to practical implementation, I will share with you how I've successfully practiced these methodologies in my life and in my business life. I'll be sharing with you a view and some tools for accessing and utilizing deep and lasting peace, which you can then test in your own private and public lives and decide on the efficacy of them through your own experience. I'm going to give you some thoughts to contemplate deeply. And in the practicum, I'll be giving you some methods that you can put into practice right away to access and utilize deep and lasting peace in the workplace. You will find that these methods will not be confined only to your workplace. These practices will radiate peace to all areas of your life. Your own stress levels will drop. Your personal relationships will improve. Your sense of internal security will deepen. Your positive mental outlook and creative productivity will increase. All of these will happen, and here's the caveat, if